Okay, continue.
Oh, is that new?
Yeah, that's new, and that was in Russian. Yeah, that this conference is going to be recorded.
Oh, I heard it in English.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, me too.
So I have to be honest from the very beginning that that was the session and the presentation when I tried to put everything in, and yeah, and I regret, like, the first session, it was so good. We had one practice and it showed like all the things, all the possible things. And yeah, this time I again trying to do many things, yeah, and to show many things in one. So what I think we can do, what's the best thing for us? We are not discussing homework today. I have Nina's work implemented yeah, into the session because, and Marcel's comment, because it was the same work. And I asked Marcel to take Nestoran's work as far as you all shared our yeah, artworks. And yeah, I asked you to take the person who sent it yeah, next, yeah, after you. Yeah. So we'll have a look at them yeah, briefly next time, I hope. Or okay, so when we have this time. And I will show you this, yeah, like the general like map, the big picture of different things you can do with yeah, teens with philosophical concepts and quotes themselves. As far as we worked on many, yeah, specific things already. And then we'll start practicing. I will make a link between visual things, yeah, our last art session and this one. So we'll start with the images representing philosophical concepts, or like in introducing, yeah, philosophical concepts. And then we'll try some more exercises. Yeah, we'll see what time we have. All the rest, I guess I can suggest you to do as your homework and look through as your homework. Yeah. So
can I make one remark? Because we had
sure.
Very brief. We had a little discussion about this yesterday by chat. So I could add in at any point, if you wish. I have one concrete example prepared, which is called the 4 tables experiment, which is about the philosophical question, what is real? So I could add that in at any particular point, but I could also just show it at the end as a suggestion. It's just one sheet overview that I can share with all the others. Would you like me to withhold that until you have shared everything else? Would that be best, or can we just blend it in at some point?
You may see where it fits, yeah, or we may try to do it after maybe the break, like we finish with some activities we'll have together, yeah. Then you share yours and we'll see what else we can do from my prepared material. Let's maybe do it like this.
Yes, but you're in the lead. Okay? Yeah.
So you can see that we can work with concepts, and even on your during your trial lesson, yeah, you introduce some concept maps, yeah, with the very young children. When you have the key topic, the keyword, the concept in the center, and you just suggest to share any other, yeah, concepts that come to the participant's mind. And just to create this yeah, map. So this step might be already enough for like for the warming up, for coming up with the specific question. You'll see which one, yeah, comes at like the point, yeah, the main one. And they are actually not that separated, but the next step that we can do, we'll do it today, is concept connection. When you don't have just this I don't know, like flower of different words that you have around, but you start linking them, literally linking, yeah, connecting. And it is not necessary at this step that you connect only the concept in the center, the key one, I don't know, friendship, for example, yeah, that you suggested, but you can make any links, any possible links, yeah, on the board, yeah, and explain which connection you see, why do you link them. And we'll do this one as well with some philosophical material today. So you can create these maps. The first, just very free, very broad, open first concept maps. When you have in mind working on definitions later. And thanks to this like variety around the concept, the key concept, you may introduce Wittgenstein's idea of family resemblance, that to show how difficult it is to create a perfect definition. Very often with children who are able to write, and especially with teens, you can start with stickers, and introducing the concept from the very beginning without the inquiry step, like just write what is love, or just write on this sheet of paper what is friendship, what is freedom, and they try what is justice, and they give their own first definition that comes to their mind. And you may work with their thoughts, and you may prepare some quotes by philosophers, again to match, maybe to find some links, which approach it fits, who stands like behind their ideas, what's the worldview actually. And to show that we always have a kind of a bundle of definitions, and we try to make a perfect one, but it's never perfect. It's always like a specific angle, specific worldview. So here I haven't prepared it for us as practice. You can see, for example, happiness or life meaning quotes. So we had a file, a Google document with the kind of, I don't know, maybe up to 12, quite a lot. We had from maybe, I don't know, up to 12 little paragraphs. Some were very short, just like one statement. Some were a bit broader, little paragraphs, by philosophers from ancient Greek, by philosophers from the 20th century, from the medieval times, like very from different times, and all of them said something about like the meaning of life or happiness. So it was possible to extract the key idea, what happiness is, what do we actually pursue in our life, in each one. And that was the work. So we tried to read, to interpret, to understand it, and to write very shortly. So like happiness equals, or happiness, and like the key word or only two concepts. And what are we supposed to do? So what are we going to, what kind of steps are we going to undertake? And if it was not clear, it was not enough to extract it from only like one line, we could link it if it was similar to the previous ideas. We could link it, or we can just suggest something. So what do we think? How can we live according to that? That's very, it's like, this is this kind of work, it's really, I guess, in between something academic, something you can do at academic classes on philosophy, and something that you can do during practical philosophical lessons, because you introduce some positions and philosophies, and at the same time you try to work from the children's ideas first, again, like their ideas, their questions, and then you introduce and share the material, like the historical material as well. Or you analyze, work on interpretation, analysis, pro and contra, and then you always try to ask them what do they stand for. And you can see it here in the second part, working with quotes. That's something that I will send you as homework, worksheets that you can use during the lesson or as homework. I call them "What do you stand for?" So after our discussions after some theory I managed to share with them, they can reflect again, what do they stand for? So what, for example, the same meaning of life, which one they think is like the worst to follow and the best to follow, and why? Always like which question you still have in your mind, at the end, and some analysis in between. You'll see it later. That like links to personal experience. That's something that you can have in the worksheets, or you can have it during the discussions. So with quotes, very simple. Interpret, and you can use these plus minus question technique. Even if you work with only one, or if you work with a list, we'll have so you'll see two different ways to do it today as well. And I also included in this list something helpful. So images and works of art that may introduce specific philosophical concepts. You're sure they are like really great to do that. Philosophy crash course, that's something you can find on YouTube. You'll have one video in the presentation, so you can find the course. 10 minutes videos, really great. The quality, that they are really clear, and many possible topics you can introduce. So I tried some parts of the whole videos with children from, I guess, 12. 11, 12, younger, that would be really difficult. Wonder Ponder games, you already know them. Thank you, Marcel, that's great. So on choice, freedom, cruelty, intelligence and artificial intelligence, like mind-body problem. Identity, and they had two more coming. I actually don't have them yet, so I don't remember the topics. Thinker's Game by the School of Life. There you just have, here I can show you. You have cards with philosophers, and not only philosophers, with writers, different famous people. You have the picture, the portrait, nationality, discipline, mayor work, keywords, short paragraph, like the key idea, some know-how, and a quote. And you can think of different games the way you can use it. We played the game like Ask a Philosopher. So we had children suggested any question, tried big questions they had in their mind. We had like 5 on the screen. And like, is there equality? Or like, is it right to hate your neighbors? So we had different questions. And then we just tried to pull out like, name the number from 1 to 5. So I tried to pull one. Okay, Emily Dickinson answers you. I read the quote. And they try to make sense out of this answer by Emily Dickinson. Or Aristotle or Lev Tolstoy answers you. He says this, and they try to understand the quote, the text, and then link it to their questions. That was really like random and very challenging, but fun. And it worked, more times than it didn't.
Sorry, this one was for older children,
for teens, like it may work from with the children from 12 years old.
Okay.
So, and the last one, books by Peter Worley. He has lots of wonderful lessons. I have the same one on my shelf. And I will take it out of my laptop for a moment. So this DK Philosophy Introduction books, they have 2 thick books, like for students as well. And they have 2 of bigger formats and more illustrative, like this. I have them in English and in Russian. They have a series, smaller books about psychology, philosophy, and they are really great for younger children. These ones you may use with children, I guess, from 7, 8 years old already.
May you please send it the name of the book?
I will.
Yeah. Thank you.
So that's it. Yeah, the general picture. Of course, you can do many more things. That's something I wanted to maybe to emphasize to have here. So, and we start with the images introducing philosophical concepts. And here is our first example. So, what's going on here? What do you think? Actually, you can use the structure we had, like what do we see, what might be happening, and what's the key idea behind it? What can it represent?
For me, I think the skeleton is the symbol of death, maybe here.
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't know. Then I'm trying to connect it to, but.
Okay, Nestor, you are right. So we can see this skeleton that tries to, he's with a spear, right? Yeah, and tries to, I don't know, to kill this man. So it looks like this is death. Yeah, and I can write your idea here. Yeah, and Nino, who is sitting in front of death? Who is this young man? What do you think? Nina, you are muted. Nino, are you with us?
I'm not sure whether she hears it. I don't think she does. Do you hear us, Nina? No.
Okay, Vernon, could you answer right now?
Yeah, well, it's probably an important figure from the past. He's writing. I'm not sure who this is.
Bernard, I'm sorry. I noticed that Nina disappeared. And could you repeat, please?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm not sure who this is, but I assume it's an important figure. And there's also something written on the banner of the spear that the skeleton is holding. But I am also not able to.
That's not important for us.
Oh, it's not important.
That's enough for us to see what is, what it really
well,
see.
Then I don't know. I don't know who this person is. Is it Benjamin Franklin?
We don't actually need to name his name. Kind of what his profession. What is?
He's a writer. I'd say he's a writer.
Okay, possible.
Or a politician.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me also looks like politician. It's.
Okay, is it politician? Yeah.
With a C.
Oh.
Politician. And then with an A. Politician with an A. Yeah.
Like this, it was correct. Okay.
Can happen. Can happen.
Like this.
Can I also say something about his facial
expression?
Of course. I think his facial expression is an expression of fear or maybe anger.
Okay. I'm checking if Nina comes back. All right. So
just said in the chat that her laptop suddenly shut down.
Okay. So you can connect these two things, that like death of the writer or the death of a politician. And so here, again, like we may take what you suggested or try to keep on track. I'm introducing. So if we link death and politician, that's something new. It came out of you. And you may start, like why would someone wish death for politicians and death to a politician, and go into like political talks. But I would try a Socratic question. So even if a politician writes his speech, prepares his article or kind of text, when a writer writes something, they both are who of their texts?
The author or the owner?
Yeah, the authors. So actually, it's the author. And you can see this picture that represents the death of the author. And it's a famous concept in rather modern philosophy. I'm trying to switch to the next slide. 1 second. Doesn't work. I don't know why. Technical problems all around today. So here by Roland Barthes. Come back, please. Here. So oh, sorry. I can't. I don't need to share with you. Sorry, these technical things got me confused. So now you have different background, and teens may have different background, so they may have read about this thing or heard it somewhere. It doesn't matter if you know or you don't know what it means and who the author is. We can look at it later. What do you think it means? The death of the author. What can it mean? Yeah, Vernon.
It can mean that no one is willing to buy books anymore.
Okay, and what might be the reason for this death?
That he has nothing to survive on anymore because he's not selling anything, or no one wants what he's making.
Okay.
He could switch professions, so I think his death would be a bit of a last resort, but yeah, that's
okay. All right.
My first thought.
Marcel?
Yeah, my first thought lie more in the metaphorical domain. So the death of the author could mean that the moment the reader starts to read a book, then the books or the contents of the book start to enter the imagination of the reader. And that means that the author no longer has any influence on what the reader is producing in terms of imagination, literary imagination. So that means the moment the reader starts to read, the author starts to lose track of his product, right? So when you read interviews with writers, they're always very scary to bring out their books out in the open, because then it's out of their hands. They don't have any influence anymore, and until that moment, they are the master in their own universe. Whereas the moment the reader comes to the stage, then it's the death of the author.
So it's the opposite. Vernon says that the author's books aren't bought and read, and you say no, the opposite. People start buying books and start reading, and that's why they are killing the author at that moment. Okay, Nastaran. So you may choose one of the ideas you heard. Which one seems,
For me also is a bit close to what Marcel said, because for me, when I see that death is like treating the author to what he wants to write, actually. The idea that he wants to apply it in the paper, actually, what he is in his mind. And it's like that treat him. If it's a little bit, again, politician idea that I have, because for some people it's difficult to write what they thought because it's not safe. And for me also, it gives this idea that death comes after what you want to write, because what the things that you want to apply it in the paper is not legal for some.
Oh, the censor.
Yeah, and if you write it, you will be die.
Yeah, it can be a poster of a censor. Yeah.
so interesting. If I may, this is so interesting because here we see the cultural influence very much, and also our personal histories and what we have experienced and where we grew up and where we live are so much influencing the kind of answers that we give.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, Bernard, but this really didn't cross my mind for a second, because not even for a second, because I grew up in a place, in a situation, in a time where there's ultimate freedom, and still there's ultimate freedom. So I don't fear this at all. Whereas you, Nasran, knowing your life story, you come from a very different corner, very different situation. And I think the same can be said for you, Anastasia. So the situation, of course, in Russia is very different from Western Europe or from the US.
So younger children, when we work not only with teens, but with younger children with this concept, one of their interpretations, thoughts were about losing inspiration. Like this, that's not because people don't buy the books of this author, but that's because he just like out of ideas, he can't write anymore. Yeah, and that's his death. Yeah, professional death. Yeah, of an artist.
Yeah, beautiful idea. Also.
Yeah.
Yeah, horrible idea at the same time. But...
So, Marcel, I would like to remember an idiom here. So like that's right into the point. Yeah. So what you said. And that's the idea by Roland Barthes, that the birth of the reader must be at the cost of the death of the author. Yeah. And that you really, you are really born as a reader when your own personal connotations work. Your own personal, historical, educational, family, and all the rest experiences will start working together. All your associations, that is not like for here. It seems that it's not absolutely not possible to know what exactly the author wanted to say. Even when we hear the words of the other person, it's always an interpretation, something reflected into our own like soul, mind, being, and that's it. And that's something like not terrible. This death is not terrible. That's not a negative thing. It's a beautiful event when we also become aware of it, that we are free, to think, to interpret, to experience something. And actually, this idea was I think it influenced me a lot, and with the way we worked with art. Yeah, we were not trying to learn anything about only with Escher a bit, because he also had his own conceptual names. Yeah, we wanted to see and to solve ourselves, but we were not interested in the history of arts in the country this painting came from, just the things we see. Yeah, just the thoughts that come to our mind, and like logic, common sense, and things we know today, that we can use for our reasoning and for our interpretations. So that's something, we may have in mind when we really want to be free, and the way it is possible, because at the same time, Marcel said, we are starting to see things that actually influence us, and we cannot be free from them, but we can be more aware.
Can I add something?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What intrigues me in this is, and I don't know about the others, whether that also rings a bell with you. Of course, this is one of the unique characteristics of literature, and I'm thinking of Václav Havel, the former the former president of Czechia that used to live under the communist regime. In the Iron Curtain, and he said that the only way to live a true life, so to speak, is to escape almost through literature, and not to submit to a dictatorship where he lived, but he could continue to feel alive and to feel free through his poetry and his literature and his theater work. So that is a remarkable thing, I think, of literature and also of language, maybe in general, that it allows human beings to remain free, even if the societal circumstances are very difficult. And of course, there's differences historically in to what extent that is possible and not, because we know there have been very repressive regimes on all continents throughout the ages. But I think that really intrigues me. I don't know whether I'm the only one and whether I'm the only. It's worthwhile mentioning, but this is the idea that comes to me when you talk about this, Anastasia.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does this resonate with anyone, or?
Yeah, well, yes, it does. I think it's like your imagination is always a great means of escaping the real world for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if there is no, no, I'm not even talking about screens, because that's not really imaginative. That's just looking at a screen. But like reading, yes, I experience it as well when I'm really deep into a book. So you just forget what's happening around you, and then of course I have the luxury that I don't live in a dictatorship, but I can imagine that if you do, then it would be an even bigger luxury, a bigger experience of freedom. No, I can definitely resonate with that. But again, yeah, also the comment you made before about the different backgrounds, I can't imagine, and
we can't. No.
What it must be like. Luckily.
Yes, luckily, yeah. And at the same time, I think I can't speak for you, Anastasia, or Nestaron. I think you have very different experiences in growing up in very different societies. And can I ask that? To what extent does literature and philosophy play that role of the say the escape or the road to freedom, at least your own mental freedom and autonomy? Does it?
I think it does.
Yeah. I think you can easily see that. Yeah. And for you, Nasra, has reading been in your life story? Has reading and trying to escape mentally into books or literature and finding your refuge over there? Has that been a way out for you, or has it been helpful for you? Yeah.
I know that in the Soviet Union, it was like books, especially forbidden books. Yeah, they were worth like a lot. People risked, really their freedom to have this freedom to read them, to rewrite them. Yeah, like somewhere in the closet in their homes, because it really, was not possible to survive without thinking and having at least anything else. Yeah.
There are very, very important examples such as Andrei Sakharov, for instance, and others who have been very influential in that, in those times, also in a very strong Russian tradition in this. So that makes me, well, I don't know what it does to you, and I don't want to linger too long with this, but it makes me very optimistic about the power of the human mind and the power of language and the power of philosophy. And it's also one of the reasons why I think it is very important that we try to teach this to new generations, that it's not just a reality out there in society or in life that counts. Of course it does count, but you also have that own reality and imagination and the imaginative power of humans, which comes sometimes through music, sometimes through art, and then through language, but certainly also through philosophy. So I'm sorry if I'm too enthusiastic, but well, you know me, right?
Let's move on to the next example, famous art, the one that Marcel has chosen, and that was your time to take the mic.
Yes.
So Nina's work is here as well. Maybe I will skip it. I hope she can come. She hasn't answered if she can fix her problem. So let's skip this one and maybe return to it later. So you can see again René Magritte's work here, and we use it again. Like at first there was no question at the bottom. So you could think, what might these two figures represent? The one, you can see the physical body. The other one, just a contour. I don't know, what's that? Yeah, is it about soul, imagination, consciousness? What can that be? Yeah, memory. So that's already a lot for again, this conceptual game and triangle work. And here you can see it that it is already an illustration to the question. So you have a mind, yeah, here, and you have a body. So what's the connection between the two? And here, yeah, like what's the connection between the two? And here I will show you a few more from yeah, one top, oh dear, yeah, here you just go on it with it through number 3. The question, like there are philosophical zombies, you know. Who might they be? So what do you think? Are they like zombies from the film and from I know, children's horror books that eat brain, or they are different? So what makes them philosophical zombies? What do you think? So you can try. Yeah, if you know, you can share as well. So who philosophical zombies are? Any guesses? Okay, Bernan?
Maybe it were people that enjoyed philosophizing and they philosophized for too long, and then they became infected with some philosophical virus, and all they want to do now is spread philosophical questions and philosophies.
So this is how you look after one of our sessions.
Yeah.
Like real life, how can I deal with it now? Well, now when I learned so much. Yeah, that's the link to this yeah, escaping yeah, out of some maybe hard real circumstances, yeah, and then you have to deal with it again. Okay, Nastaran, have you got an idea? What?
Not actually. It's a bit difficult, this one for me.
Philosophical zombie. Who can that be? What is it like?
I don't know, actually. It's a bit, I don't know.
Okay, so that's normal. Yeah, sometimes we don't have ideas, just surprising us. Okay, Marcel?
Yeah, I just put a remark in the chat. I immediately thought of the painting The Scream by Edvard Munch, the Norwegian painter. When you see it, you know what I mean. Google it, for those who don't know it. An expression of existential fear. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That picture.
I like this. So what about zombies?
Yeah, what about them?
So who do you think philosophical zombies are?
Yeah, the living dead, right? That's a zombie. A zombie is a living person that's actually dead, or a dead person that needs to be alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then adding to that philosophy, I go with Nasran. I don't have a clue.
But you nodded at the very beginning, like, oh, I know this. It looked like no. So actually, zombies look like us. They are not green, not like this, not like from the films. So philosophical zombies, they live in a philosopher's thought experiment. Yeah, so maybe again like Earth 1, Earth 2. And you can see, so they aren't twins. They one of them is a human being, the other one is a zombie. And the problem is that you cannot actually distinguish, because we can observe only behavior, and we can see that both of them can answer our questions, can communicate, can express different feelings. Yeah, you can see their faces, yeah, and gestures. So nothing different. But there is only one difference. We can observe, yeah, like what's going on with us. We can reflect. We have this kind of a screen inside us, yeah, our awareness, yeah, of the things that happen to us, the way we experience things. And philosophical zombies, they behave absolutely the same way as human beings, but they are like black boxes. Yeah, there is nothing inside. They do not feel, they do not think. They are just these like input and output boxes. Is it clear? Yeah, what I tried to...
Not quite yet. So it is a thought experiment, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, then it is clear. Yeah. So philosophical.
I mean, just the not what's the idea for, but the who these zombies are. Yeah, look the same, behave the same way, but we are aware of, we have this kind of inner world. Yeah, this like film inside our head. Yeah, about ourselves, about the interior world, and they don't. They are black. Yeah, blank and black. Yeah, inside. As if they were very and high level robots as well. Yeah, we cannot distinguish them. Yeah, and maybe they even biologically like the same, but no consciousness. So the thought experiment was here. Yeah, you can see this mystery box, our mind. Yeah, our consciousness. The brain seems to be more than a mere communication device. Yeah, so in fact, it seems to regulate a lot of behavior. But if we have input and output, what do we have our extra mind for? So our mind can work without it. Why are we supposed to like see what we feel, not just I don't know, do things? What's the connection again between our physical brain and their physical bodies and consciousness? We still cannot find thought. Yeah, we can open like the skull. Yeah, we can investigate the brain, neurons. We discover lots and lots of connections, the way chemistry works and electrons work inside our brain, but we still do not see thoughts in our mind, and we still do not understand why are we aware of all that. What is it that for? If we are just I don't know, biological computers. That's the wonder. And the thought experiment tries to show us that it is still like a miracle, a mystery, and that we observe each other's behavior. But actually, we may be zombies or these like high level robots. We never know that the other person is actually conscious of himself. Yeah, so it's just a guess. Yeah, we have it ourselves, and we suppose that each of us is not a robot, each of us is not a zombie. Yeah, and that you are have consciousness the way I have it, and you suppose the same thing. Yeah, like you have this video inside your head, and you think that others do, and that's a funny thing about human beings, and that's a very one of the biggest questions that aren't answered yet. Yeah, Bernard.
This reminds me of The Matrix. I think. It reminds others as well of The Matrix. I found that movie very scary, very intriguing, but it was super cool at the same time too. It's like, you're like, what? So it could possibly be, you know, but that's it. The longer you think about it, the crazier, what you get, right? You become.
Yeah, so actually the film The Inception and The Matrix, these films work for reality and delusion topic. I'm sorry, I'm trying to switch off the phone, and I don't know even what it tries to tell me. Time to sleep or to wake up? I don't know. To start the lesson? No, that's strange. Sorry.
Okay, can I ask you the million-dollar question then, Anastasia? Are you actually a philosophical zombie? You could never answer that because now you have to reflect. But can I just test you here?
During tests. I guess I'm not.
No, why not?
Because I'm not a black box. It seems to me that I experience and feel. But maybe we are all brains in a vat. That's not excluded.
No.
Maybe it, that's as far as everything we feel, everything we think goes somehow through our brains. yeah, through the impulses, then maybe something stimulates it, and it seems to me that I have my own hands, but still I'm just brain in a vat. That's not excluded. So
it's scarier. Thank you.
yeah, sorry. Yeah. Here there is a really another thought experiment, and there is a card from Wonder Ponder when you can ask children, okay, maybe it's like that, maybe not, maybe you do not discuss the brain in a vat yet, but you can ask them, would they like to be connected to an experience machine like endless happiness, yeah, or they can program the world they really like, yeah, anything, and they are going to be, you know, lucky, successful, and have superpowers even. Or if they are interested in, I don't know, even like development and I don't know, becoming stronger, they can program their own world that they have challenges, yeah, ups and downs. So again, up to the customer. Yeah.
We actually have such a machine currently, of course, the VR glasses. So anything can be programmed into that. So people could be offered the choice to live within that VR environment forever. So it's not just an experiment, but we actually have it on offer.
But actually, when it's close, but we maybe forget, but we have still like some physical needs, so we will take them off sometimes, I guess, and we can remember that we are wearing them. In the thought experiment about experience machine, you know that you won't remember. You would think that you live in real world, yeah, and like won't doubt it, or maybe doubt like we do, but still we don't know, are we part of I don't know, God's computer game, yeah. And that's funny that we are aware of ourselves. That's, yeah, like the big joke, big guy joke. Yeah, but we still don't know what for, yeah. And that's it. So we can go back here. So you can introduce this one you can introduce even to very young children. Again, is it enough to know like the difference between knowing and experiencing? Yeah. So that's about Mary in a black and white room. She grew up there, and she, even when she looked at her own hands, maybe she had special lines. Yeah. I don't remember I don't know the right pronunciation. Instead of glasses, you may wear the lens. Yeah. And yeah, so she couldn't see colors inside her room. Yeah, maybe she had like gloves and no mirrors, so some details, but she couldn't, only black and white. But she grew up as a scientist, and she investigated everything about the color. Yeah, the length of the wave of each color, the reflection, this everything. And it seems that she knows everything what humanity knows about the color by now. And then she goes out of her room and sees the real world, and she sees like a red flower. And the question here is, will she be surprised? Yeah, will it be something new for her? Or if we assume that she knew everything, she learned everything in her books and computers, she won't be surprised. Yeah, and there is a big discussion, yeah, in philosophy of mind, yeah, whether she will be surprised or she won't. And so like physicalists think that we can like reduce everything, yeah, again, to this biological machine, to physical laws, and explain everything, and that's enough. And then we can simulate, yeah, experience. And those who maintain no, experience, that's always something extra. Yeah, if you see the color, even if you knew everything about it, it's different. It's a new, absolutely new thing. This qualia, yeah, that we have in our mind, and that's about, again, like our consciousness. Yeah, some specific additional thing we are capable of. Yeah, I'm just explaining it like very, very shortly, like, and you can, yeah, you can use these things and introduce, yeah, very interesting things to children to wonder about, yeah, reality and illusion, about the difference between knowledge and experience and other things. Yeah, Marcel.
Do you have a position in this discussion over the philosophy of mind quality? And if so, are you willing to share it?
I would say that I have like two big questions that bother me all the time, about free will and about consciousness. Yeah, like really. So if we are biological machines, then what do we have our consciousness for? And why do we experience our life as if we were choosing? Again, like what for? If we do not actually affect, if everything is determined. And like I see that it's, I don't see any possible ways to answer it. And yeah, that's something that we have it today as well, that existentialists call the absurdity of life, of human condition, is that we realize that we cannot get any definite answers for our bigger questions, but we still keep wondering, and we still keep like digging and trying, realizing at the same time that it seems to be over our human cognition limits, and that make our life absurd.
And is that also your position? Or?
Yeah, I guess yes.
Yeah.
It is very, yeah, I really, yeah, I think I experience it this way. Yeah, that's very close to my own thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Not about the photo, actually. I apologize if my question is a bit, maybe, I don't know. If you don't want to answer it, it's okay for me. But I'm a little bit curious to know that are you allowed to teach every subject and discussion in the class about philosophy in Russia? Because a bit for me, I don't know.
It seems to me that I had this freedom, and maybe I have it because I mainly worked with children and the Children's Philosophical Club, and that's something additional. It's not a part of curriculum. It's not at school. That's something that parents and children choose by themselves. And yeah, I haven't discussed. Yeah, I haven't discussed religious topic, but not because it was forbidden. It's rather because I was not ready. We touched upon some questions like that, like maybe this year, and that's what was quite okay. Yeah, we discussed it a little bit.
So there is no limitation from a school?
No, and in Letova school, I'm like in between, partly academic, partly non-academic activity. It's additional as well, like special course. And like they see the program, and actually they really like all the open questions we had with politics and with yeah, like with illusions, and we had a topic on God and death as well.
Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah.
But we have a kind of really special and open-minded school. Yeah, it's actually unique right now.
No, because I don't know, maybe it's a little bit, again, the experience I had, because, for example, in Iran, is in none of the school, you are not allowed to teach them. You are not allowed to talk, because anyway, if not directly, indirectly goes to a topic like what is the meaning of life actually. Then children say something and teachers need to say something. That's why it's not really safe. I cannot say that is illegal. Yeah, it's indirectly illegal. You can say it, but then maybe many things happen.
But so what exactly is forbidden? Could you share?
Like that, what you share, for example, in the photo, because you say that in black and white, and going to the the colorful one, for example, then going to talk about the life, or you say that that for the God, especially for the religious part, it's completely dangerous. I would say that if you talk about that, not only because of the, mostly because of the government, because it's, and they can quickly come and arrest you as a teacher, and we have many teachers that they arrest them because of the topic or because of this discussion that they make in the class. That's why a bit philosophy is a bit tricky topic in Iran, to be honest.
Can I add something? I think you're absolutely right, Nasran. And in session 10, which is about the embedding of P4C in international curriculum, we will certainly talk about this. So I think you're even too cautious when you say that it is tricky to teach philosophy in some contexts. I would go even further. I would say it's potentially very dangerous for teachers, for children, for parents in some contexts around the world. And it's always very important to check for yourself the context to make sure, and that we will go deeper into that in session 4. But it is absolutely true that it is not a topic or a subject that can be taught in just any context. It's always very important to do some kind of safety check first and see whether you can teach this, because I would certainly never teach this or recommend to teach this in, say, the Emirates. I would certainly not recommend you to teach anything such as philosophy, let alone teaching issues such as religion or freedom of speech or so, in countries that are under heavy censorship, because then you are in direct confrontation or in direct violation with national laws in those countries. And
you're raising a revolt.
Sorry?
You're like raising a revolt with critical thinking.
Yes, and that can be a reason to be arrested or even worse. So, and we actually see it happening currently in China, for instance, in Hong Kong, which is slowly being taken over by China mainland. They actually have cameras in classrooms. So the government has placed cameras in classrooms, and there, of course, you would think twice to criticize the Chinese Communist Party in those circumstances. You don't do that. So it's certainly not, our intention is not to say with this course, well, you can teach P4C anywhere. It's always a matter of context and checking and making sure, but that we will go deeper into that in session 10.
Yeah, I guess if it's not about the topic itself, as for some specific questions that may arise, I thought of, I'm just trying to imagine, somehow myself in your shoes. If I realize that I'm not allowed to answer the question that like the child asked, but it's still like there, maybe the only thing that comes to my mind is that I still hear the question. I can say I wonder too, and like there I really don't have an answer. There is such a question. It's okay to wonder. I wonder too. So but and just then say like, I don't know, respect the question, still respect the question, but you are not deepening it, you are not giving any answers, and you ask them, but we try, and you link just back to the topic that is allowed, that you've chosen, to the activity you have. It appeared, and maybe that's something that really may, again, like if there are some questions that are born, I don't know, in the hearts of these children, maybe they all act a little bit differently, and maybe they all may have a bit different life later and a little bit freer. So it's kind of a hope. They have this, they still have these seeds. If they really train their thinking, they would be critical at some point as well, the more they grow up as well.
So that's a really good suggestion. I think that's a really good pedagogical way out as well, to show the child and to reward the child and say, okay, yes, that's something that I wonder about too.
But there are questions that we have no answers to. That's our human condition. Yeah, or there are questions that we may we may think of an answer, really have faith in it. Yeah, we have this leap of faith. Again, that's about existentialism. Yeah, and something that can give us consolation. Yeah. So, and it's again, it's like human, to do that. Okay, so here, so that was from my like philosophical zombies lesson. Yeah, something you can use from art, some pictures or toys, that can introduce the concept. Again, first thoughts, then you may share theory and ask this big question and discuss and wonder, how is that? It's one of the biggest. Yeah, and you can introduce more, if you need to teach philosophy, or you don't need it, you just give a brief introduction, just show what it can be. And there are also memes, very nice ones. So the mind-body problem, you can see here. Get up, no, and we all know this. Yeah, I'm sure. So another angle at mind-body problem. So I really like this one. You can see Descartes, and I don't think. There is a famous anecdote of when Descartes enters a bar, and so the waiter asks, "Okay, what do you usually drink?" And he answers, "I don't think," and disappears at that moment from the bar. So, Bernard, could you comment to why is that so? Why is he disappearing? Do you all know
why he is disappearing? Yeah, he's the one who said, "What is it? The mind and the body are two different things, right? They're separated. The dualism, isn't it?"
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And his famous quote.
I think, therefore, oh no, is that him?
Yeah,
I think,
that's
therefore
right.
I am.
Yeah, that's it. I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum. Yeah, in Latin. And yeah, so I think you can see him.
Oh, I don't. Oh, I don't.
It disappears.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
It landed. Yeah, that's a very beautiful way to show the dualism, and his to remind the quote, to illustrate it. The thing is that you can use some memes as introduction, or we also worked with this as home task for modern children. So I had like 8th grade teens who created like a series of memes. Some were very really great. Some were not that good, but they were really inspired and tried to represent their own understanding. So that's something you can combine with creativity as well. So that's just an example. We won't read it right now. So now I think we so what about the time and our participants today? So Nina still couldn't return. I don't know. So this one is quite easy. So this one is prepared just for let's try. Let's do it like, like really shortly. So this one is for the brief this brief concept map. So when you look at freedom, what else comes to your mind? So could you name another concept? And link it. So explain why you think about it, looking at this idea of freedom.
You mean say some word or explain it?
Yeah, the word, like you can say, I don't know. Okay, like again, like friendship. Yeah, and you explain why. What's the link? Why you think? Why freedom makes you think about friendship, for example.
I don't know. Maybe when I see the words, I just say that expensive.
Expensive. Oh wow. Could you explain?
I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit relate to my personal life because you pay a lot for that.
You have to pay a lot for your freedom. It costs a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then yeah, we have had this discussion. Yeah, so we understand why. Okay, Bernard.
I go for inner peace.
Okay. Could you?
And the reason for that is that I think once you're free of all, yeah, well, assumptions or desirable actions or assumptions made by others, and you just live your life according to your values, let's say, and you're truly free, and I think you find inner peace.
Okay, could you repeat so that I can write the short comment?
I'd say with getting rid of all things society wants you to be, you'll find inner peace. Because and then I interpret freedom as something not like as being free, like physically free, but more like mentally free.
Okay, Marcel.
Yes, it's my favorite value, which may come as no surprise. First thing that came to my mind was, and thinking about freedom from a philosophical perspective, was Josiah Berlin, the British philosopher who had fled from the Baltic states just before the Second World War, I believe, who came up with those two ideas of freedom: positive freedom and negative freedom. So positive freedom, the freedom to do something, and negative freedom as the freedom to be free from something. For instance, free from fear or free from want or things like that. So positive and negative freedom are first things that come to mind. So yeah, I think a really philosophical feeling of the concept.
Sorry, what was the negative one? You say that as an example.
Yes, positive freedom is the freedom to do something, and negative freedom is the freedom from. So freedom from fear, for instance. So and I really feel free from any fear. I'm not under threat. I'm not personally targeted. I feel free from any restriction, besides Corona, maybe, but that is not for the longer duration. Let us hope so. So, yeah, so I could also understand why all these measures under the Corona crisis were put in place, because they were put in place to protect us from something, protect us from illness. So I could interpret those restrictions as a form of freedom, an institutionalization of freedom, namely to free us from getting sick. And of course, the better version of freedom is positive freedom, the freedom to do whatever you want, as long as you do not harm, but it's a personal conviction, as long as you do not harm any others with whatever you want in freedom.
But I could say that negative freedom also kind of could be positive when you are afraid, for example, of disease or like Corona. This fear can protect you, because you try to protect yourself
from something, yes.
And
when that is absent, whatever that is, whether it's threat or illness or natural forces such as a thunderstorm or volcano eruption, as long as that is no longer there, as long as that is absent, then the negative freedom has worked out successfully, and then you can move to the positive freedom. Then you can do whatever you want. So those two faces of freedom, I think, are very interesting, and that's the first thing that comes to mind when I see this term. And now you also know my favorite philosopher.
Yeah.
Messiah Berlin, his name is. Yeah.
Okay. So then, for example, if we stay with the freedom, again, if we had a separate session, so you see that even this first task made you start sharing and adding, building on each other's ideas, and you suggest just a word at first, just expansive, and then you have an idea statement, from the concept to the message, you always go. So it may cost a lot, then you can explain and share, and some questions may arise as well. Inner peace, about this possibility about getting rid of things, the things society wants us. Why do we want to get rid? Is it possible to get rid? So you can discuss here. Very nice idea, like freedom and restrictions, freedom and limits of this freedom, and that the restriction may give freedom. So you do this like dialectical work, positive and negative, and the things that I can't pronounce it, synthesis, of these two opposite things. And so again, if it doesn't go naturally, for example, so you always may ask to, if like, I don't know, the children, the participants were not generous at first. So, and you have just a few words from the very beginning, you always may ask to look for connections between different branches. You always may ask to, so sometimes you may ask not to explain, just to name, and then others pick up the others answer, explain first, and the author always shares his or her thoughts at the end. This tradition of trying to understand the other first, and then to hear we don't kill the author completely. And we can hear the initial idea as well. And it's really good practice, because you may see that people really understand you and they have the same thoughts. You may realize that people have multiple thoughts. They see the same word, the same idea you gave, but the other interpretations are completely different. You wonder, but you see it in action, not just as an abstract idea. You see the attempt to understand that your idea is valuable. We pay attention to it, and that you are able really to listen, to see whether it was right, and share, add only something that was not said. So active listening all the time. And questions, of course. So like who would you the other one, if you want them, if you know that it would be really difficult for them to explain the others, they maybe are not ready yet, or it happened to be that it is difficult today, you may ask them to pick up the answers, which author they would like to hear. So who would you like to ask about? So who would you like to comment? To choose one of the answers given and listen to the author from the very beginning. But again, it's choosing by the other. So they have these connections all the time. So let me take a picture here. We haven't had a break, because we start talking about many interesting things today and waiting for, at least for Nina. Would you like to have at least a little break here? Let's do it. Like a little one.
5 minutes, or is that too long?
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Perfect.
See you in 5 minutes then.
Okay.
شوهره من میخوام اون پریمستر رو حتما بخونم. چیکار کنم؟ من میخوام حتما برم برای اون رشته. خیلی من به این
Nasran, you still have your mic on. Howdy. Doing good. No more signs of corona.
Yeah, I feel really, really good. The last days. I really want to go out and go. So I have a very. We'll have to discuss with you later. I haven't written it to you yet. I haven't been to school, for the during the month, and we are having this like summer school. Every day, lots of activities. I have like 3 things that I'm in charge, and very late philosophical diving, philosophical hat at the end of the day. So we'll have to check our schedule as well. I'm afraid that I will have to miss your session. So
next week, you mean?
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, that can happen, of course, but I'm fully prepared for session 9, 10, and 11. So
okay.
I could host them individually if it's really needed. But let's see how far we can stretch it. But I'm certainly.
Would you share so the tables?
Yes, I can. Should we wait until Bernard is back, or are you already, Bernard? Or should we just get started? I'll just share.
I'm back.
You're back. Yes. Let me see if I can find what I need to find. I don't know whether it is. Let me look for it first, Anastasia.
Okay. So let me check the next thing here. So the concept it again disappears. The concept connection. So one way we can do it with the things that you suggest and that we write around. Freedom, for example, as we did. The other possibility, you can prepare this concept map. It's not a map yet. You see scattered concepts from existentialism, and it can be an introduction as well. It can be like your summary, after some introduction and discussing different things. So here you are supposed to link concepts any way you want. Of course, there is philosophy behind it and some kind of correct answers, but there isn't a ready-made map that you are supposed to copy and to repeat. So you may connect anything that I told you only about absurdity because it came up with our discussion. Can you link anything that seems related to each other here? Yeah, Bernard?
I'd say death and existence.
Okay, what's the, why do you connect them?
Well, because if you're not exist anymore, then you're probably dead.
So the thing is that I also can use arrows here, like let me explain, and then we go back to your answer. I can connect them like this, two-side arrow, and it means like, I don't know, existence influences death, death influences existence, or that they are two as a part of a whole, like something that work as these basic oppositions, like part and whole, and ugliness and beauty and many other things, like change and stability, order and chaos, something that we link together, like equal things that are opposite but go together. So you may use an arrow like this. I don't know, absurdity makes us make choices, for example. So then that's the cause and the reason, not the reason, the cause, of making choices. And I can use this arrow similar to like logical this, yeah, when we derive things from each other. So what kind of arrow, like which way, two sides, from existence to death or from death to existence? So which one is correct?
You mean errors or not? Are you asking Bernard which arrow?
Yeah. Well, I figured that like a mummy is also still existing, but he's dead. So that way wouldn't always work. But if you, at least your soul, I think your soul doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, after you're dead, your soul doesn't exist anymore, or your mind. So the arrow goes from death to existence.
Okay. Something that erases some kind of existence.
Yeah.
All right. Nastaron, what would you connect?
Choice to freedom.
So an arrow from choice to freedom.
Yeah.
So why is that? How does this work?
It could be also part of your choice that as an individual, the freedom of the individual, you can be in prison of your mind and in prison of what you believe. That is what but is kind of the choice that you want to be free, or you be a prisoner of your thought or your bias.
So I understand the statements, the idea of being a prisoner of the things you named, but I don't really understand why choice leads us or creates freedom.
Because it's your choice to be freedom, or you be prisoner of your bias, for example.
Okay, you think it's a matter of choice. So because there is an opposite.
Because everything is connected to you, what you want, what is your decision for yourself, what is, you know, that you decide for yourself in which direction you want to be free, or be a prisoner. Because some people are really narrow-minded and just look like this, and some people look wider. So that is your choice.
Okay. So, and there is an opposite position, and we actually had it when Nina suggested a message for Margaret's kiss, in scarves. That so like maybe we do not choose who we love, but when you choose, then stay committed. And there is one of the possible explanations that people who cherish freedom too much, they always stay within like having multiple choices, potential choices, but not choosing. Because if I choose, I lose my freedom. Yeah, now I have to be committed to my choice. And then, choice deprives me of freedom. Yeah. So yeah, that's the absolutely opposite way to look at it. Yeah, but it and at the same time it does not contradict to you to what you said as well. All right, I just wanted to share this idea as well. And Marcel, what would you link? And you can go on. The thing is, you can go on connecting things that you already have connected. It doesn't mean that you need to choose only two not like untouched concepts.
I see. I was immediately struck, being an existentialist myself, between the opposition between essence and existence. So the famous explanation of those two. So it's either there is something essential. For instance, if you think about humans, either you think there's something inborn which is essential to humans, and then you're an essentialist, or you think there is no such thing as something inborn into human beings, and then you're an existentialist, right? Meaning that that the moment people start to make their own choices and start to create their own life, this is the ideal of existentialists, they start to create their own concept of what it means to be a human being, and they're not living up to a pre-prescribed recipe such as religion or a particular philosophy or whatever. So every day of your life you have to basically make new choices again, and with those choices, only with hindsight, you can see what kind of person you've become. That's really the at least in my understanding, the existentialist ideal. So where essentialists say, for instance, thinking along the lines of a particular faith or a religion or a doctrine, say, well, this is what humans should be like, or this is what a woman should be like, or this is what a man should be like, and then they live along the lines of those doctrines, then you're an essentialist. So I see the opposite between essence and existence.
And that's, yeah, I use this two-side arrow. And I would add to what you said about existentialism, that, yeah, this famous statement that existence precedes essence, it comes first. Yeah, that's what Marcel was talking about. And the existentialists believe that we have our existence at first, like, yeah, free, and each choice we make, especially when we face real dilemmas, moral dilemmas, when we face death, this yeah, when we were like at real threat, yeah, or our nears, when we experience something considering our existence, yeah, threatening our existence, and we had to make really difficult choices. That's something that builds our essence. Yeah, actually, each decision, yeah, each choice builds our essence, but these choices make us, build us the most. And I can, so I can add two arrows. And so on and so on. Yeah, so you can unravel existentialism, yeah, through, again, your thoughts first, your guesses, and yeah, you may add things you like read, you prepared, or you would like to share as well. Again, you can be rather free, or you can share some positions as well. And we also worked, I didn't find a picture by now. We always also worked on the big wall, yeah, at school, where we connected quotes. We worked before this map, and we had a big map. We sticked the quotes, the key concepts that children extracted from the quotes first, and different links they made and explained. And we had like a web about existentialism on the wall. So like it may work like this as well.
Yes. Can I say something about that little thing that I prepared for today?
Of course. Yeah, I closed everything.
No, but I think I was about to say, I think that would really very much do away with your contributions in this session. So I think it is better if I blend that into a next session as an alternative way of offering concepts to learners, be it children or teens, because I think it doesn't really fit here. So.
Oh, you think so?
Yes. I think
all right. So let me. I have very few things. Just to will let you look through.
It's almost time as well, so that's okay.
Yeah. So over here, yeah, that's just a chart table with key concepts here. Yeah. So you may find things like that. Yeah, that may help. Yeah, if you're interested in particular philosophical, yeah, branch, yeah, movement, you will look through it, yeah, by yourself. Here, I promised you that you may have, yeah, a look at this crash course philosophy. Yeah, very nice series. So here you may, yeah, use it as well. And working with quotes, yeah, that's something that yeah, I'd like to do with you, but we didn't have enough time. Maybe I will suggest it as a part of your homework as well. Yeah, so here you can see the limits of my language are the limits of my world. Yeah, and yeah, we use these signs, like I agree with it and I explain why, I have a question, yeah, which one, and I try to disagree, yeah, and what can be the exclusions. Yeah, so that's Wittgenstein really like fascinated all my students. Yeah, and here again you can do the test by yourself. It's a link here. Which famous philosopher are you? I really like the test. I'm not sure that the example or the results are really relevant all the time, but the content is really interesting. And you have a print screen here. There are quotes, yeah, about human condition, what sounds most like you, and sometimes you can have just a list, and you are looking for something that corresponds you, yeah, something that seems like you, yeah, and then you really introduce some philosophy, but actually you use it to understand yourself, yeah, more and deeper. So that's it. I think, yeah, it can be the last thing I shared. So would you like to just give a little feedback?
Do you want to have that on recording as well?
As you wish. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. So we don't have. There aren't many of us. So what do you think fits your context? Something that you may use from the things we did today. What do you think? Yeah, Bernard?
Yeah, well, I very much like the idea of unraveling a concept by just creating a concept map, which is, again, I guess, slightly different from a mind map, because you're not looking for just thoughts, but you're looking for other, I think, concepts, and also exploring the relationship more. Yeah, there's something that makes it different from a mind map and just an ordinary mind map. I can't really.
Mind map is yeah, when we usually have the question or the concept in the center, yeah, and all the things we have around, they link only to the central question. Yeah. And the second map that I showed, yeah, you may connect anything.
Yeah.
You create your web. Yeah.
Yeah. So like those things, and I also like very much the deep discussions here and the connection to the real world, because that's sometimes where philosophy, because when we're talking about the zombies, for instance, you know, you go like a long way, and at some point you got a bit like, it's not that I got lost, but it's more like you're like, oh, like where like it's hard to conceptualize, you know, those thoughts. But then once philosophy gets connected to the real world, then it's, I guess it's more
valuable.
What's the word? Yeah, and accessible.
Yeah.
So that's I like those connections.
We'll do more around real world philosophizing next week.
Yeah.
When outdoor working comes to table. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Nastaran.
Yeah, this time. Yeah, first I'm sorry that my mic was on when I talked with my dog.
Don't worry.
It was awful. But yeah, what I learned today, it was really deep today, actually, what Bernard mentioned, and day by day, every week to week, when I joined the philosophy lesson in this course, I learned a lot, not only how to teach, how to understand it actually, how to, like today, how should connect, for example, words together, how we define the quote and how we define the words relate to photos. And it's really useful and make me more curious and motivated to learn more about philosophy. So I'm really appreciate because of this course, this session for the philosophy. To be honest, it's I don't want to skip one of the courses. Because I feel it's good to watch the movie after that, because I normally watch all of the video after the session, not only once, maybe twice or 3 times. But when you join the course in live, it's a bit different. But watching the video helped me again to more understand what I missed, for example, in this one. That's why I really learned a lot, not as a teacher, as a human being, how should know the philosophy.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, all credits to you, Anastasia, there for your preparation. It was really, if I may, it was really fantastic. You had so many examples. You had so many really concrete suggestions for the participants to work with, and so I second what you said, Nasran. It was really deep, and you too, Bernard. It was really deep today, and somehow we were able to create that, even despite the fact that unfortunately Nina and Carmen were not here. Yeah, so my compliments, really good. And what do you think yourself? Before we go to Bernard and then finalize.
I totally agree that we managed to do some really deep things, even though we just like touched upon this topic, then touched a little bit upon this topic. But we really, each one was like in harmony. Yeah, so I really liked it. So thank you. It was your work as well. Yeah, our mutual work. Yeah, Bernard.
Yeah, well, I wanted to add on a little bit to what Nasran said, because just during the break, I thought about the past hour and a half, which is now become almost 2 hours. But I realized that they just fly by like it feels like a minute, and that's always a good sign, I believe. Yeah. And also what Nasran mentioned was that I also got this feeling that I really want to know more about this.
I'm so happy.
I started the wondering continued, and then like, yeah, well, all these different.
We are considering a follow-up course.
Well, it's already,
you know,
who knows? I was actually considering a philosophical major, therefore, just for a second. That it's not a concrete idea, but I was like, oh yeah.
I just add one more thing. So one of my aims and like the main motivation I had from the very beginning when I started to practice philosophy with children is to share curiosity so that they don't lose their natural curiosity and only like develop it. And the thing is to share this I know, deep and honest curiosity about the world. That was the main thing. Yeah, whatever you do with them. Yeah.
And it starts with daring to show your own curiosity.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. That's why you can say, yeah, I wonder too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But let's wonder about this specific thing today. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, see you.
Likewise. And next time it's going to be me in the lead, so you're not sure whether you will make it.
We'll check the schedule. Yeah, so a bit later. Yeah, I will tell you.
Okay. Yes.
Is it next week that we should have already practiced with the geocaching?
Yes, please. And Nasran has already done it. So if you want to know how to do it, please turn to
Yeah. No, I did plan it for this week, so I just scheduled it. So but that's all right. But just to confirm.
And prepare yourself to be like a cat.
Excuse me?
So I'm saying to Bernard, prepare yourself to be like a cat.
Yes. On your
the nature
thing.
Have you already done it, Anastasia?
I haven't. I can't go outside.
Oh no!
I can. I go, but like really very, very close to my house.
Yes. Well, then maybe geocache is really close to your house. Who knows? Okay, we'll meet again next week, same time, same place. But then, of course, we should. If you are not attending, then we should. I may have to resend a link to my Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we will discuss it. Yeah.
Yes,
later.
we'll discuss it. Okay. Thank you for your time. I stopped the